Good evening, it's Tess Crawley here, clinical and forensic psychologist and director of Dr. Tess Crawley and Associates Psychology Practice in Hobart and Launceston. I have sat here for about 5 minutes tonight trying to figure out what I was going to talk about. We're getting up into the high 20s in terms of the number of days that I've been participating in my 90-day vlog challenge. And it's been a big day. Yesterday was Are You OK Day, and I spoke yesterday in detail about that, and in the days prior to that I spoke on other topics related to suicide prevention, and I thought tonight I really wanted to talk about something a little bit lighter. Cara, I can see you've joined me this evening. Welcome aboard. So tonight I was reflecting on the week that I've had, and I've done quite a bit of, I had a day yesterday where I had some meetings with some of the clinicians in my practice, and today I had the opportunity to talk to a couple of other clinicians interstate. And looking at my diary for the weeks coming ahead, I've got lots of meetings booked in with both groups, clinicians in my practice and clinicians elsewhere. And I got to thinking, this is probably a little bit of a mystery to most people, but what do psychologists and mental health professionals talk about when they're behind closed doors? Well, the first answer is I'm not going to tell you because it's confidential. But the second answer is really we spend an awful lot of our professional time consulting with one another. So in my practice, we have 3, including me, 4 what's called endorsed supervisors or approved supervisors. So we are at a level of training and experience that we're acknowledged by the registration board as being eligible to supervise other psychologists. Now, in some professions, the word supervision might have negative connotations. It might mean that somebody's not doing a good enough job and therefore they have to be supervised to make sure that they're working properly. That's not how we use the term supervision in psychology. We use the term supervision to, it's really a synonym for professional support, and I guess a form of ongoing training. So for junior clinicians coming up through the ranks, they would receive supervision towards attaining their clinical psychology endorsement if they're moving towards the clinical psychology pathway, or some other area of endorsement such as forensic psychology. They might receive some supervision around that. And in their supervision, they would talk with their supervisor about confidential topics like the treatment plans that they might have for a client that they're concerned about, or an area of practice that they're a little bit inexperienced in and they'd like some more information about, or they might talk about some training opportunities that they'd like to pursue and whether or not that fits with their overall development as a clinician. My team is quite a large team, and I spend the bulk of my time supporting my clinical team. So my work with clients is actually very, very limited. So when you call my practice wanting to see me, odds on that you would be more likely to get in at an appropriate time frame with one of my other clinicians. But what you can rest assured in knowing is that all of my clinicians spend time with me in either a peer support or a supervision type relationship. So for the senior clinicians, we would get together from time to time to support one another and share ideas and share knowledge, and also brainstorm solutions for some of our clients. And for the junior clinicians, obviously, they would have supervision with me to help stretch their knowledge and stretch their learning. So all the clinicians in the practice have access to my input when it comes to working with clients. Now, that's not to say that we sit around and gossip about individual people that we're treating. We certainly are very, very respectful of the privacy of all of our clients, and we will do everything we can to maintain that, even in a supervision relationship. Sometimes when clinicians are sharing information, it reinforces the idea that there's no one right answer in therapy. And this is something that I spend quite a bit of time talking to our students about, that there is no one right answer when it comes to working with, say, for example, a client with depression or a client with anxiety. So often our clients might come So, for example, recently I've seen a few clients with some perinatal mental health issues. So, women who are pregnant and struggling with anxiety, or women who've recently had children and they've had a traumatic birth, and so on. So, different examples of perinatal clients coming through the doors. And what strikes me about all of my perinatal clients, they are all so different. They are all so different and so unique and so amazing in the journeys that they've had, and the courage that they've shown to come and talk about their problems. And yet there is no one answer that I could give all of those clients and have it be the same. So even though they're all perinatal clients, they've all got very different stories to tell. They've all got very different backgrounds. So of course I need to take a unique approach with each client. I still rely on my evidence-based training and my evidence-based practice, and I will certainly brainstorm with some of my colleagues about solutions that might work best for a different client, and see if they can help me come up with an alternative if I'm stuck with a client. Because of course, no matter how senior and how experienced we are, we can sometimes get a little bit stuck. And by stuck, I mean we might be using our best resources and using our best knowledge and our best training and experience, but sometimes we just can't help that client make that next leap in their progress with therapy. And that's when I will certainly draw on my colleagues and say, you know, I'm working with this particular client, this is what's happening for them, and I just can't get to the next level with that client. So then my colleagues will come up with some novel ideas that I might not have thought of, because of course I don't know everything. Don't tell my kids that though. So when clinicians get together, mental health professionals get together, sometimes we do that as a social gathering, and of course we talk about the same things that everybody else talks about. But when we are getting together, getting our heads together behind closed doors, we spend quite a lot of time brainstorming clinical matters of relevance to our clients and relevant to each other. And that's how we continue. Well, that's one of the ways that we continue to grow and continue to develop as mental health professionals. I believe quite strongly that it's never good enough just to think that you've got the training and then you rest on your laurels and that'll do you for the rest of your career. And in fact, our registration board requires us to have ongoing professional development, and peer review and peer supervision is one of the methods that we can utilise to get some of that ongoing professional development. So having said all that, as I said, there are 4 approved supervisors within my team, and we support each other, but we also offer supervision to mental health clinicians and others outside of our profession. So we've been approached by numerous agencies over the years requesting supervision or mental health support or professional support for some of their workers. So they might be peer support workers in a particular industry, or we've had sometimes they might be other medical professionals who are working in quite a stressful area and an emotionally challenging area that might request our peer supervision or peer support for their workers. Midwives, nurses, teachers, all sorts of professions can benefit sometimes from the input of psychologists for that peer support and peer supervision. So if you're working in an area, whether that's psychology or speech pathology or nursing or midwifery or any particular area where you think a psychologist might be able to support you in your ability to work with your particular clients or maintain your own mental health at work, so avoiding burnout is one of the really big benefits of getting some peer support in your work, then by all means you can contact our practice. There are three of us in Hobart, and we have one approved supervisor in Launceston as well now in the shape of Kath. And we're available for supervision for those of you who are interested, whether you be psychologists or not. So one way to contact us to discuss that is to call our office in Hobart, 6223 2122. Or you can jump onto our website, tesscrawley.com.au, and have a look at our Contact Us form, and you could submit an inquiry that way. By all means, feel free to leave a comment or on this post. And you could send an email to admin@tesscrawley.com.au if you'd rather contact us by email. But however you do it, get in touch, and if we can help you with your supervision needs, we'd be more than happy to do so. Similarly, if you're in an area that we can't assist with, then we might be able to recommend someone for you. I'm in touch with quite a number now of practice owners around Australia, and I'm quite happy to make inquiries or make recommendations for people that might be able to assist you if you're interstate. So it's Friday. I hope you've had a fantastic week. I'm sure you've all earned a break. Put your feet up, have a glass of wine, have a cup of tea, whatever floats your boat on a Friday night, and enjoy the weekend ahead. I'll have a chat to you tomorrow, and I wish you all the very best for this evening. Bye-bye for now.